Hello, it is I Dark7777. Welcome to another fanfiction reading. I'm sorry if I sound a bit off today. I just got over a fever and my throat's still kind of bothering me. So, as always, please read the link to the story is in the description. Please like, subscribe. Please spread the word. Because when I try to spread the word, I get yelled at. It's not fun being yelled at by everyone. Great. Now I'm sad again. I hope I can get through the story. Because it's not sad. So the story I'm rating is Monster Musume Everyday Life Monster called Papi's Flight. And I'm a big fan of Monster Musume. Let it be said, it's probably one of my favorite animes. It's the only anime I've really gotten into recently because I don't really watch anime so much, but I came across this and it's like I fell in love with it. It's so adorable. It's so funny. And of course, there's Sue. Come on, who doesn't love that? Who doesn't love that adorableness? Sue is waifu. She is waifu. She's waifu material. She is prime waifu. She's queen waifu. I don't care what you say. Sue is life. Anyone who disagrees with that can go straight somewhere. But anyway, I love the anime. I love the manga, and I'm very hesitant for the dub because it's like we live in America where you can say or do everything. Sir, there's movie censor it. Censor everything. But sir, it's from Japan. I don't care. Censor everything. So let's get started. Monster Musume, Papi's Flight. Okay. Midnight at the Kirisu household. A window opened on the second story. There was no lights within. The street lights outside were the only lights. The only ones that show a slender figure step off the windowsill and, silent as a ghost, spread wings and soar off into the night. Well, perhaps not silent, completely silent. Ghosts don't usually stop. Papi! Papi, why you sad? Darling, you're already up. Mia was rubbing the sleep out of her eyes. Yawning. Centauria, Rachni, Sue, Mero, and Papi had yet to join them. Sue, I was gonna cook breakfast for you. That's why I got up early. Good thinking, Kimi. Darling. Why did I say that? Kimihito. I can't say. I completely forgot. Yeah, that's his first name. He loved me. He could love Mia dearly. Actually, he loved them all, but his stomach can only take so much. Well, today I treat you and the others. He pointed to several more pots on the stove. One especially large one for Saria. The phrase "eat like a horse" come to mind. Quickly banish it. Saria wasn't a horse. Yeah, kind of is. Well, the bottom half is. She probably has a large stomach. One for Mia, her favorite eggs. One for Papi, scrambled eggs. He already had the eggs out. Papi ate pretty much He already had the eggs out, and Papi ate pretty much anything you put before her. One for Mero, fish. She eats fish for breakfast? Can you eat I didn't know you could have fish for breakfast. I didn't know that. Can you? Sue, of course, couldn't get anything that didn't try to eat her first, and a few things that did because she's Sue. She's best. She's best monster girl. I don't care what the author says. Sue is best monster girl. But he had to avoid the coffee for Ranchera. A drunk Rachni wasn't that constantly alert. That's a funny image. Said with the whole. I'm remembering when Mia's mom came and she just like, shut up, I'm drunk. Besides, the way things have been going, I figured I might as well fix some for. Oh, good morning, darling kun. It's Japanese pronouns. Said a familiar voice. Something smells absolutely delicious. Mrs. Smith, or liaison. I have no idea. I've seen this word, but I just never really pronounced it. out loud before. Bear with me. Liaison, but good enough, with the Interspecies Cultural Aid Exchange Bureau walked unannounced through the front door, causing Kimihito to wonder if she'd been waiting outside all night. Nah, he thought, probably just her usual thing. Darling, I'm here for breakfast. Where'd you come from? Nowhere. Double. Did you get the sleepover stuff away? Yes, miss. Yes, boss. Good. I'll bring you some bagels. Without asking, she took a seat at the table. None of them were surprised. Kuroko Smith had such a consistent habit of intruding into their lives that by now they would have been surprised if she hadn't. Hope I didn't surprise anybody, she said in her. I've never seen this word. Never heard of this word before. Mellifluous? I never heard that word. I never seen that word before. Oh well. Learned something new. As a matter of fact, segued Kimihito seamlessly. I was just about to mention you. When you have a seat, Smith-san? The others straggled downstairs, Rachni rubbing her eyes, all 8 of them. A process which took a bit longer than those species blessed with only 2. While Sue slid down the balcony. Because Sue's best! Rachni was carrying Mero in an improvised saddle on her back, the mermaid being unable to navigate outside of water. Where's Papi? Asked Sue, looking around for her best friend and playmate. She's probably not up yet, responded Kimihito. You know, she's usually a late riser. The others nodded as they dug into their chow. No, said Sue, a worried expression on her face. The tendril on the top of her head waved back and forth. Papi's not here. I know, Sue. I'll just save hers, and she can eat it when she gets... No! Don't you love... said Sue, her worried expression increasing. Papi's not here. Not in Master's house. Her main head tendril quivered as she sought out the harpy's aura. He's gone. No, Sue, don't be sad. Oh, crap, now I'm having flashbacks to chapter 55. No, Sue, don't die! Oh, God, said Kimihito and Smith simultaneously. Papi had run off without supervision so often Smith no longer even bothered to file the reports. There wasn't any point. The harpy would just run off again. They all realized that Papi's brain just wasn't capable of remembering such things as the importance of not venturing out without supervision. Here's an idea. Don't make her walk 3 steps because that's kind of a thing in the author's works. Oh, harpy? Oh, they can't walk 3 steps. Like, 1, 2, 3. Who are you? Let's see, where... oh, yeah. She's probably out playing with the neighborhood kids again. I'm sure the older boys in particular are glad to see her coming, thought Kimihito. Oh, yeah, white shirt with water guns equals fun time for all! Thought Kimihito. Papi, Miss No Boundaries herself, was a hugger par excellence, and the boys never complained about being pressed up against her breast. Well, I guess if I were their age, I wouldn't either, he thought. I don't know, most guys kind of go for bigger ones. And again, she's a harpy, so flat-chestedness, I kind of expect that. Papi's still no Sue. But he worried for one thing. It wasn't like Papi to miss a meal, no matter what she had planned for the day. And also, it hadn't been that long since she laid her egg. He wasn't... Oh, so it takes place after the director... No. Yeah, the director comes. Lala's not there. Okay. Since Lala's on the story, so it makes sense that takes place after the director. He wasn't sure if she was completely alright. Medically, humans sometimes experience odd after effects upon giving birth, but... Sue, go upstairs and see if you can find her. She probably just ran off to play again. The slime girl readily acknowledged and immediately slid back up the staircase. Kimihito shook his head. Some things you just never got used to. Whee! Well, darling, said Miss Smith, holding out her cup for more coffee. This is historic. First, Papi. Missing a meal? You're right, it is. Why did that thought fill him with dread all of a sudden? Master! Sue bounced down from the second story to the first with a splat. As was usually the case, it did her no harm. She was clutching a small piece of paper. Master, Puppy's run away. Yeah, Sue. No! Left. For good. And she showed them the scrap of paper where large letters spelled out. Master, I am Lee. Since it's Poppy, it's like misspelled to hell and back. Master, I am leaving. Got to go, Stewie. Don't try fighting me. I sorry. Love you. Yo, always Puppy. Puppy, no Puppy. Puppy, 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 Puppy. Puppy, 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 Puppy. Ah, God, I can't do that. All of a sudden, none of them had any appetite any longer. We gotta find her. Kuroko Smith was more serious than they ever seen her. Poppy's innocent out there all alone. We'll find her, said Kimihito. Sue, can you scan Poppy's room? See if there's any trace of anyone else there. You're thinking she might have been kidnapped? Smith's eyebrows rose above her dark glasses. I want to rule it out, but for the record, no. I don't think she was. Why not? He produced the letter, and the others crowded around him. See how large those letters are. Poppy can't hold a pencil very well, so she has to use big strokes. But, darling, why would she leave like this? Mia, for all her jealousy, still felt a kinship with the childlike harpy. She had been the second liminal to join their household. I don't know, Smith Sam. Do harpies have anything like postpartum depression or similar problems? I hadn't thought of that. No, to the best of my knowledge, they don't. I mean, they're egg layers. Their biology isn't conducted to such things. At least, I don't think so. She was rubbing her chin thoughtfully. But Poppy just recently had that egg. And there was that bastard Kasegi. His eyes were, Sue, quick, go check Poppy's snack. Can you analyze them? See if they've been tampered with. What are you thinking, honey? Rockney's left side eyebrows rose almost as much as Smith's. I'm wondering if that bastard didn't leave her a little something. The harpy, known as Papi, couldn't possibly be more miserable. How could she ever thought that she'd have a chance for Master's hand in marriage? Her, no chest, couldn't even get dressed by herself and hold her own ice cream. Aww. Well, Papi, you have good qualities. You're adorable. You're small. I mean, you have positions I got nothing. I can't think of good qualities for all of them. I mean, she's probably. I mean, she's low. I mean, she's probably low maintenance. I mean, provided you. I mean, she's an easy one to listen to. I mean, she's probably the one you most often want to lend an ear to, despite the fact you'll go in one ear out the other. But it's like, well, all of them have good qualities. All of them have bad qualities. Like for Sue, her good quality is she's adorable. Her bad quality is don't dehydrate or she'll kill you, or she'll rape you. I don't want to be raped by a slime, despite the fact she's the most adorable thing ever. Worship the slime. Worship Sue, because she's best monster girl. I don't know. And he'd been so good to her, helping her give birth to her egg. She remembered him behind her, coaxing her, massaging her just when and where she needed it the most. And how did she repay him? Always eating. Yeah, so her metabolism required a lot of food. But has she done anything to help out with the bills? No, just a freeloader, that's all. Oh, okay, so this was before, Okay, so based on the what I'm reading, this happens after Ranchero finds joins, but before Lala joins. So it's right around the time, right around there, and probably more importantly, before they even have a chance to look for a job. Because I know some of them actually have a job before Lala joins. Like I think Mia actually has a job. No, not Mia. Ranchera actually has a job before Lala joins, as far as I know. And then she's the only one who has a job that I know of. That's all she was. She wasn't worthy to be called his sister, even. Though she still wasn't too clear on the difference between sister and wife. One, she thought, was a different kind of relationship, but she wasn't sure. Here, she actually dared to think he'd lower himself to fertilize her next egg. She must have... excuse me. She must have been crazy. Maybe it was time to go back home. Yes, that would be the best thing to do. Back home to Mom. To the harpy nest she left. She could see now why the harpies had been so reluctant to join in on the interspecies thing. It just wasn't going to work out. At least not for... Well, hello there, little lady, said a slimy voice next to her. She jumped. It was that phony director, Kasegi. Had she let him slip on? Oh, he's back. Wait a minute. Huh? Wouldn't he be arrested? Would he? Yeah, he would. What do you want? She edged away. I think a better question would be, what do you want? He slid onto the bench beside her. Here you are out again without your host human. Are you trying to get deported? No. Yes. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I should be. Such was her misery that she didn't bother to hide it from this clearly untrustworthy human. But she slid away from him. Just being near him seemed to soil her somehow. So she's peeing herself. He noticed. Okay, look, I admit it. I let my enthusiasm get the better of me, okay? It was in the wrong. It was wrong of me to force my way into your household and do what I did. Your boyfriend was right to punch me in the face, right in the chops. I deserved it. You certainly did. You were gonna sell my egg. He was not again. Yes, I was. I was blinded by the sheer amount of money you'd bring. But, and here he spread his hand in a show of sincerity. Oh, that's in the past. I'm sorry. I'll never do it again, okay? Can we let bygones be bygones? Besides, I don't think you came out here to play with the local children, did you? You look more like you're running away. Sniffle. Yes, I am. Let them catch me and deflower me, or whatever it was they were called. Papi. It's not deflower, it's deport. Stop saying the wrong things, or whatever it is they were gonna do. I deserve it. I ain't no good to anybody. She couldn't stop the tears from streaming down her face. He appeared to think for a moment. Then, look, come on with me. You're clearly in no shape to be by yourself. Not right now. I'll feed you even. There's a sale at the local hardware store. Birdseed by the pound. Local birdseed at a hardware store. I don't know if that's something of a mistake, or do they actually sell birdseed in hardware stores? It's Japan, so I'm gonna err on the side of caution with that. That'd be a funny image, though. I couldn't eat a bite. Sure you can. Yeah, happy. You eat your weight in food in a day. Sure, in some birds. Now come on, you can at least let me buy you lunch. It's the least I can do, considering. Please. Something about him was just irresistible. Darling, why are we here? Mia and Saria had accompanied Kimihito to the fountain where they first encountered Papi. Because of what Sue found in her room, that rat bastard drugged her snacks while we weren't looking. According to Smith's sound, those compounds can produce feelings of depression and harpies. So I'm thinking she'd come back here, to the place where she first met us. It makes sense, because of course it makes sense. Of course he drugged her. Although, it kind of begs the question, how the hell did he drug the... I'm sorry, I'm MSTing everything. So it's like, why the hell? I'm more wondering how it happened. I don't know. But my lord, how could Papi, of all people, have remembered to come here? You know her brain resets with every third step. Saria had her sword out, but worried furrowed her face. Yeah, but harpies are like humans in one respect. Depressed people have better memories than non-depressed people. Anyway, she has to have some memory, otherwise she couldn't function at all. I'm betting she remembered this place, perhaps remember it fondly, and if she was feeling depressed, he turned to Mia. Can you follow her thermal trail? Lamia's like snake could sense heat and heat impressions. I think so. Because you know how snakes, you know. Yep. So now I'm trying to picture her like actually trying to figure out the thermal. She's probably just sticking her tongue like. It's like I think so. Oh, it looks like she got in someone's car. I bet I know whose. Rackney's cell rang. Rackney, does Kasei have any hideouts besides the one you were in? Rackney was with Smithstown and the Mon team. Yeah, he's got one on the south side of town. Why? Do you think? I'm thinking it might be a good idea to check it out. The Mon team, led by Miss Smith, had taken the directions for Kasegi's hideout. Now, Kimihito. Smith was more serious than she ever been. Promise me that you and the girls won't go all gangbusters on this. This is what we're here for, what the unit was designed for. And I gotta go with them to make the actual collar, since Limonals can't do that legally, according to the terms of the treaty. And your group is mostly percent Limonals. So I need you and the others to stand back on this one. Clear? Of course, Smithman. Kimihito nodded. After they left, Rackney sided up to him. You agreed to that a little too readily, honey. Did I? Earlier, Kasegi carried the limp body of the harpy into his new hideout. It was the one he just purchased. He knew damn well that bitch Ranchero would have ratted him out to the authorities, so he had this one on the side. Smart. Papi's body was lightweight enough that he could carry her with one arm. Hollow bones, he thought. Just like a bird, but not a bird. Something much more valuable. He placed her drug body into the framework he cobbled together. An X-shaped frame that would hold her limbs apart. It wouldn't be very comfortable for her when she came to, but so what? Now to prepare the other framework. Okay, now I'm curious. What did he plan? Mia slipped soundlessly out of the Kurisu household. Everyone was sleeping, even Darling. This was a perfect opportunity. She rescued Papi all by herself, although Papi was, technically, a rival for Darling's hand. The fact that she single-handedly rescued the bird brain from her capital would cement her relationship with Darling. Now he would have to choose her. God dang it, Mia. She hadn't lied about losing Papi's trail either. Earlier, but she could trace a vehicle's heat trail also. It was a lot more confusing with all the congestion of motor cars on the roads. But with effort, she could trace an individual vehicle. It took longer, however, and it was getting close to daylight when she found the end of the trail. The trail had led her to a nondescript warehouse on the edge of town. There were no lights, nor could I think this needs to be worded different. Nor could she sense anything out of the ordinary. For some reason it says, nor could her senses anything out of the ordinary. That just sounds weird. It appeared to be abandoned. She couldn't sense any heat signatures from within. That was troublesome. She ought to be able to pick up Papi's heat sig at least. Well, no matter. She charged, smashing into the doorway with her lower serpentine part, holding up her upper half in reserve for the more refined forms of combat, looking left and right for the harpy. And the net pulled up around her just as it was supposed to. God dang it, Mia! You had one job! You didn't even have that one job, and you still failed it! Earlier, you agreed to Smithstown's order is a bit too easily, Snookum, said Rackney. So come clean. What's on your mind? Kimihito shrugged, his face blank. Now, Rackney, what could possibly make you think I had something up my sleeve? Oh, I don't know. Maybe because you always had in the past, and her voice dropped in pitch, becoming even more sultry. Maybe because you go berserker mode whenever one of us is threatened, especially, I noticed, a certain one. Sorry. Thirsty. Really? I do that? A present. Let me go! Let me go. Mia thrashed in the net, but it clung securely to her. Strong as she was, she couldn't break the lines. Oh, I'll let you go, my dear. Just not right yet. Kasegi had set up his equipment, both his camera's light and one other piece of equipment, which, if it did what it was supposed to do, would be well worth the yen it cost. Mia could see Papi stretched out in the framework, seemingly unconscious. Mia's heat senses told her the harpy wasn't dead. Thanks the gods, just out of it. The liminals have gods? Excuse me. What did you do to her, you Kurosaro? Which translates to bastard. My, such language isn't very ladylike. But then, you're no lady, aren't you? You're a thing, just like your little friend here. A very valuable thing. However, just like your little friend over there, don't worry, he's fine. Just a simple application of a potent tranquilizer. I've done my homework. I know which ones work the best, especially on monsters like you. The term is... Hello? Sorry, collect call. I'll leave it in because I don't care. If it was an important call, I wouldn't have ignored it. The term is liminals, creep. The term in liminals? That... Grammar error! You're monsters! You and this winged creature. There are no males in your species, so what do? You kidnap human men. And what then? A great party, sure, for you. But for those men, calling it non-consensual sex sounds so much better than rape. Now, does it? Ooh, we've got a point. He's got a point. It's not like that. Oh, then what's it like? I don't know. Lamia's had that chemical incense, but it's still rape. A man did that to a woman when he spent time in prison. So tell me, Miss Lamia, Miss Monster, how is it different? Can you honestly say you have not ever tried to force yourself upon your human boyfriend? Your darling. I heard you even dislocated his shoulder once. Tell me, if the sexes were reversed, how could that not be a crime? Ooh, he's got a very good point, because, the whole feminist thing, he said, oh, men are allowed to rape. But about women? They rape just almost as much as men. No, women can't rape. Women can't rape. Yes, they can. No, they can't. Yes, they can. No, they can't. How so? Because I'm a woman and I say so. I know women can't rape because I'm a woman. You're stupid. Mia struggled but couldn't begin to break the net. Oh, don't bother. The net is specifically designed to hold you. Yes, hold you safe and snug, until I'm done with you. What are you gonna do with us? I think that should be obvious. Think, if an unfertilized harpy egg goes for millions, how much would a fertilized one go for? He went over and patted on this looking machine. And while we're at it, how much would a fertilized Lamia egg go for? Oh, that's just creepy. So he went over and patted. So an artificial inseminator? Smart, wouldn't be able to trace him. You can just grab random seams of digital. Can't find me. We cannot simply sit by while one of our numbers is in captivity. Saria was not shouting, but her voice was very intense and carried. We must do something. They had gone. Sue slid down the staircase, her yellow raincoat flopping around her. Who's gone? Sue, Mia, and Master. All right, who we gonna shoot full of holes this time? Zambina was restless as usual, all the more keyed up because the villain was apparently a human who targeted a liminal. Those just set her off. No, Zambina. Agent Smith made a chopping motion with her hand. You and the others are in reserve. Our purpose human, which means I gotta do it. But you and Tito and the others need to keep ready. There's nothing that says this creep hasn't hired some muscle. maybe orcs, and even if he hasn't, she didn't finish her statement. The perp might be only human, but that didn't stop him from using lethal force. Guns, landmines, and other lethal traps and weapons. She might need the Mon team to subdue him, though. One-on-one, she was confident of her own abilities. In spite of her demeanor, Kuriko Smith was a highly trained government agent, well-versed in hand-to-hand combat. A little backup never hurt. Now to find the creep. So, what are you gonna do to us? Mia was more scared than she ever been. This human didn't even see her as a person, but only a monster, a thing perhaps to be used. Nothing nature didn't design for you. I'm simply gonna use my little friend here to inseminate the both of you. Your eggs will be quite a pretty yen on the black market. He made a few more adjustments to the device. So it is it's artificial inseminator. Okay. It's kind of obvious. He made a few more adjustments to the device and swiveled around to face Mia. Since you're awake, I'll do you first. It'll be more fun that way. The netting she was instantly tightened, forcing her onto an elongated framework she hadn't noticed, holding her perfectly still in the most awkward pose. A little payback for all those men you stole. Fitting, isn't it, that you, a daughter of rape, should be the first? Wouldn't you say, then, your friend? Papi groaned, beginning to come to. Perhaps she'll be awake by then. The machine whined ominously, and a robotic arm emerged, tipped with what looked embarrassingly like a male organ. You like, he continued, as the device rolled on treadmills toward her. Then you can close your eyes and call it darling. Oh. The burns, they're so real. The door crashed in. Nay, varlet! On hand our comrade, shouted Centauria, brandishing her sword. Her real weapons, though, were her 4 metal-shod feet. Ooh. Oh, please. He touched the control. Another net sprang up between them, trapping the centaur. Sue, however, slid through it, leaving her raincoat behind. There was a menacing expression on her face. Sue, go, Sue, go, Sue, go, Sue. Now, you don't want to hurt me. Besides, he touched another control, and Saria cried out as electricity shot through the net. You wouldn't want anything to happen to your friend now, would you? Sue hesitated, an expression of concern on her face. No, Sue, you gotta be brave. You're Sue. They're not the ones you have to worry about, bastard. Kasegi whirled around just in time to see Kimihiro's fist on a collision course with his face. Oh, nada. 1 point! What seemed like a detonation in front of his face flung across the room, where he lay senseless on the floor. Darling! Mia cried out. The insemination machine was getting a little too close to her private parts. Kimihito grabbed the bulky contrivance, lifting it completely off the ground. The others stared. The machine must weigh at least 800 pounds. He threw it completely across the warehouse, hurling it against the wall. It smashed apart into 100 pieces amid a shower of electrical discharges and small explosions. But how did you find us? Mia asked Smith. We didn't actually, she gestured up. We followed her. Come on down, Ranchera. The spider woman dropped out of the sky, suspending her against the wall of the warehouse. I guess I have to work on my stealth, she muttered. You might start by not leaving webbing all over the town, leading us right to you. She turned to Mia, and, of course, Ranchera was following Saria. She gestured to the centaur. I thought we asked you girls not to get involved with us. Verily, 2 of our own were endangered. Would you have sat idly by and let the scoundrel have his way with them? It's not the point, but never mind. Smith obviously has something bigger in mind. Tio! She addressed the ogre who had just come up from where the others were finishing their swoop. Anything? A few more easily disarmed traps, sir, but we found a supply of chemicals, many tailored to liminal biology. Not all of them were mere tranquilizers either. Her face twisted. Manako was currently going over his computer files. But it looks like Kasegi wasn't operating alone. I was afraid of this. Smith turned back to the others. You didn't hear this from me, but there are, well, shall we say, resistance groups scattered across the globe, apparently dedicated to waging war upon all liminals. Mia and the others gasped. They knew not all animals accepted them, but war? And Mia remembered Kasegi's words, daughter of rape. Did some people really see them that way? See someday. Well, technically, how it's interpreted in the manga, they do kidnap women and rape them, and then decide to whether that they want to leave or stay. It's still technically rape, but
Look out, he's coming.
it counts. God, almost done.
Put that glide in your fucking foot.
Sue brought a still groggy Papi over the bench, and Kimihito joined them there, sitting between Mia and the harpy. Papi leaned against his shoulder, crying, "Oh, I'm sorry, so sorry, Master. I caused you so much." "Stop right there," he said, putting his arms around her. "It wasn't your fault. That bastard poisoned your food. None of this was you, Papi. So it's all right." He pulled her a little closer. "Me, I'm just glad I got my little sister back, alive and unharmed." "Little sister?" She wrapped her wings around him. He never knew just how much those simple words meant to her. She cried a little more, but not tears of sorrow. They'd given her drugs to counteract the sedatives Kasagi had injected her with, but the others were unknown. They'd keep her monitored, but Smith was of the opinion that it might be best just to let them wear off on their own. Fortunately, with the harpy naturally rapid metabolism, that shouldn't be too long. He turned to Mia. Mia's face was burning. All her carefully carelessly laid plans of rescue and heroism had been for naught. You don't say. Now, darling would see her as completely useless, and even troublemaking Lionel she was. She'd be lucky if he let her stay. After all, what good was she? Her fingers found the necklace he'd given her, one of her most prized possessions. She hoped he didn't want it back, but he probably would, and she would sorrowfully relinquish it. She made a move to unsnap it, but he pulled her close, put his face near her ear, and said in a voice too low for the others to hear, "I'm especially glad I got you back, Mia. Especially you." Both her ears shot skyward, and her eyes widened, and her hearts. Snakes have more than one heart? Sorry, throat's still bothering me. The emphasis had been made quite clear. "Huh? Darling, are you saying..." He turned to Saria, Sue, and Rackney. "I'm glad you're all safe." To Smith. Oops. "Please tell me that bastard won't get off with a warning this time." The government agent had, as usual, arrived just in time to see nothing. "What? I didn't actually see anybody hit anybody? Destruction of property? Oh, I guess I must have been looking at something else." Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. "Oh no, he's facing several serious charges. Kidnapping, assault with intent to harm, aggravated sexual assault, Technically, Poppy's an adult, but maybe if I juggle the books just right, maybe sexual assault to a minor." Don't do that. I mean, that's kind of overkill. No promises, though. Endangering others, conspiracy to harm, and with all those illegal liminal-based drugs, possibly possession of weapons of mass destruction, with intent to distribute. And all these against liminals, too. The terms of the treaty are most clear on that. Oh, he's going to be away for a while. Don't worry. She dropped her glasses a bit, licking over the tops of them at Kimito. "I'm worried about you, darling Connor." "What, I didn't hurt myself this time?" The first time he threw a punch in Mia's defense against the douchebag. I like that. I like that better than the racist couple. The douchebag twosome. Sounds better. As he and the others had come to call them, he did more damage to himself than the ones he punched. Smith had laughed about that for a week. "Oh, no, it's not that. It's something I need to talk to you about." She looked at the others in private. Saria, Ranchera, Sue, and Mia looked at each other. Then, in unison, they resolutely crossed their arms and glared back at the government agent. For once, her intimidating presence wasn't working. She sighed. "Well, okay, perhaps it's something a lot of you should hear anyway." She turned to Kimihito, whose arm Papi was still cleaning, wiping her tears on his sleeve. "You remember back when you got sick? We took extensive samples tests to make sure the virus didn't cross species, resulting in a pandemic among liminals." "Yeah, must have gotten a gallon on my blood." "Well, the reason we needed so much," she struggled momentarily with herself, "the reason was we found something odd in your genetic makeup." "Odd? What do you mean, odd?" A couple of chromosomes that didn't correspond to the norm. We haven't been able to identify them, but they don't match anything we have on record. That is anything, well, anything human. Dead silence. Then he asked, "So you're saying that I'm not? You're saying I'm not human? Oh, you're human, all right, in most ways, all the ways that count. I mean, but so there is something else in you, something a bit strange. It could." She hesitated. It could be a recessive gene from some liminal strain. So I'm a liminal? No, that's not what I'm saying. But look, twice. No, make that 3 times now. When someone you care deeply about, and here she glanced at Mia, who didn't notice, her rapturous gaze still fixed on her darling. You gotten extremely angry. You displayed pretty impressive strength for a man of your size and build. I mean, knocking 2 people completely out with one punch. One punch! Slamming a grown man clear across the room. And now you lifted a machine that outweighed you by a factor of at least 4 and hurled it across the warehouse. I know adrenaline surge can explain some of that, but not all. If there is a liminal in your ancestry, it would have to be a pretty strong one. All eyes turned to Tio, who blushed. Don't look at me. I don't know anything like that in my family. It needn't be an ogre, continued Smith Sand. There are liminals who we haven't made contact with yet. What? Some of them are even stronger than ogres, but what concerned us, make that concerns me the most is the distinct possibility, which is very slight, that it may not be a liminal strain at all. What? Said a puzzled Monaco, just then bringing the computer files they collected. If it's not a liminal, what could it be? Smith didn't say anything, but just glanced skyward at the star overhead. Oh, come on, Kimihito said, breaking the shock silence. Me, a space aliens? Well, there have been reports of humans being taken abroad, what appear to be non-terrestrial spacecraft, and subjected to a rather invasive test, shall we say. And remember, your upcoming marriage to one of your house guests is basically an attempt to see if liminals can integrate into society well enough that female-only species will no longer have need of kidnapping men to propagate their species. And here we got flashbacks of Mia's and the guy saying, rape. Because of course, it's not beyond belief to think someone's beating us to the punch. Or, no pun intended. But, she said, including the others in her words, all that sheer conjecture at this point. All we know right now is Kimito has an extra kink in his DNA, and seems to go crazy strong whenever his loved ones are threatened. And all that could be explained in some perfectly logical way. So, more tests are in order. Kimito groaned. Later, as they were heading home, Kimito noticed Mia's downcast expression. Sorry, nose. Itching. Mia's, what's wrong? Is this his genome thing? No, darling. It's nothing like all that, like that. It's what that man said. She paused, trying to frame the words right. He said I was a daughter of rape. That hurt, darling. Especially because, in a way, it's true. This last said in a whisper only he could hear. She knew what he knew about Lamia's custom of kidnapping a human male to be passed around among all the fertile females in the tribe, which is technically rape. Sure, for a good cause. Doesn't help the fact that it's still rape. True, they had that incense that made a man super horny, but still, was that any better than a man slipping a little something extra into a woman's drink? He turned to her. The Mon truck was backing up. The liminals could take it back, most of them being too large to fit in the car. Smith Sand had offered him a lift back in the car with the Mon girls. Mia, I don't care what the son of a bitch said or meant. You're a person to me, and furthermore, you're a girl, so you come from a culture that's different from ours. So, it's not like you asked for that. All cultures are different in some ways. He looked up. Miss Smith was bringing the car around. Hey, lover boy, said Zambina from the back. Come on, I saved you a seat right by me. Ahem. Smith used her business voice. Mr. Kurusu will be sitting by me. Sabina made a disappointed grimace and sat back with her arms crossed. Kimito turned to Mia. Well, it looks like I gotta go. But Mia, I just want you to remember one thing, okay? She looked at him as he embarrassed her once again and drew her close. He put his mouth close to her ear. Our daughter won't be the product of rape. Just remember that. And then he was gone, getting into the passenger side of Smith's car, leaving a completely flabbergasted Mia standing by the side of the road, mouth open, watching him disappear into the distance. After a while, she began to smile. I like that. Nightbreaker did a very good story. It continued on the whole subplot of the director. It introduced us with a possibility of the author, whether it's a boy or a girl, making a sequel more delving into the whole psychology of the whole cultures of rape and that the liminals are doing and the whole resistances. There's a lot the author can do. I mean, is the author going to, or the author is going to make a sequel? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But I did like it. One thing I would like to do is just replace Ren is the character type. Replace Ranchero with Sue, mainly because Sue's kind of in this story more, and she's kind of more important. Because Sue kind of kicks off the whole plot and everything. It's just me. It's just what I would do. Because Sue's best monster girl. So I'm Dark. It's been good. I'll see you next time. I'm Dark Symphony 777, and cut.